Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today, Friday morning, Al?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody.
And we're here for our Friday morning sales meeting.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
As everybody jumps on, really appreciate that you're being here. So I want to say hello to everybody on our Zoom webinar, coming to us live, everybody on Facebook, coming to us live this Friday morning. And we got a great subject this morning. So this morning, I want to talk to you about Step 2.
Step 2.
I believe that this is the secret sauce.
The secret sauce.
It's the secret sauce to everything. It's the secret sauce to sales.
Okay, but you can't tell them because it's a secret. You can't be telling everybody what the secret sauce is.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about the secret sauce, Al. Let's talk about what Step 2 is in the sale. Now, again, in the sale, we have to understand when we're selling something, the most important thing that we're going to do is build trust and rapport, isn't it? We got to build trust and rapport.
You have to. If you don't have it, you're wasting everybody's time.
Right.
And what?
I was going to say, and it's true, because once you have trust, once you have rapport, if people like you and trust you, they're going to buy from you, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, when you meet somebody, what do you want to do? You want to sit down and find out what they want to accomplish today.
Right.
Again, we're not looking to sell. We're looking to help them buy. We're looking to solve their problem. They have a problem. They don't like their car anymore.
Right. And I think what's really important, actually, is the fact that we understand that most people who come onto the car lot these days, they know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want. They come on, mostly everybody who walks on that lot knows the equipment they want, the package they want, the color they want. They know exactly what they want. And the worst part about it is sometimes we don't find that out when we switch them to something that they don't want.
Well, when we sit down with somebody, we find out what information they received on the internet.
Right.
How accurate is it? Because it could be inaccurate or they misunderstood something.
Right. Maybe.
Okay. So Step 2 is vitally important for your health and time and stress.
And stress.
Because people come in, you have no idea what's on their mind. You have no idea whether they're going to play a game with you or not. Good cop, bad cop.
Right.
And when you sit down with them, they kind of relax a little bit and tell you what it's going to take to make something happen.
Yeah, and I want to say this, especially when it comes to Step 2. I'm a firm believer in Step 2 needs to be done sitting down at your desk with your customer, just asking questions, man, becoming a person, finding out what they're looking for. I totally disagree. There was a couple of sales trainers that I ran into that were talking about, Step 2, Step 1, meet and greet, get that customer, say hello to that customer, bring them right to the inventory and show them cars. Man, I think that's confusing. I don't know about you, but I totally disagree with that. And I say I totally disagree with that because, look, if you bring a customer out to 500 cars, man, they're going to be confused. In fact, they may be in on that base Camry. Let's just use an example, right? They want that base Camry, but now you show them all cars. You're saying, hey, which one you like best? Well, of course they're going to go to the one with the leather and the sunroof and the navigation and the blah, blah, blah. And that's $10,000 more, right?
Well, even is so much of that is to let them put their guard down and let them know that we want to really help them.
Yes.
Assist them.
Yes.
And not sell them and not try to, I heard a guy said the other day, rip somebody's head off. What kind of talk is that? You made a lot of money. Fine. Okay. But the key is all these years, customer came in, met salesperson, we walked on the lot until we realized how important it was. Wait a minute. I mean, people, they don't look at the car business as a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They look at us like, beam me up, Scotty.
Right.
That we're not real. Salespeople aren't real. We don't have families. Right.
Well, again, I think that this is the most important step to the sale. And we call it, I deemed it the secret sauce, right? And I deemed it the secret sauce. I always use those words because I believe that this is the secret to making a lot of money. And listen, we're all here in the car business to make money. Let's face it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're here to make money. And people will allow you to make a profit. Profit's not a dirty word. But if you treat them right, if you give them what they want, in fact, if you're so good and you can actually land the customer on a less expensive car than what they came in for, and show them how certain things work, show them why they don't need a certain feature or a certain option. For example, navigation these days pretty much come with every vehicle. I mean, so somebody says, I have to have navigation. Well, you might want to just simply show your customer that, hey, with Apple Play or with Android car, I forget what it's called, the Android Play, you do sometimes just plug in your phone and boom, navigation comes right up on your screen. Why spend the extra $3,500 on navigation in this extra package if you don't need it? And when you give customers options like that, they're going to respect you and like you because you're showing them options on how you can save them money, right? But stepping back, step 2 is where you make that friend. Step 2 is where you break it down. It's where you really build trust and rapport. And let's face it, these days, today's day and age, if you want to sell cars and you want to make money selling cars and you want to have a lot of fun and you want to sell a lot of cars, build trust and rapport. People will buy from you. Be honest with people. I mean, there's no reason to land people on the wrong car, put them on a $5,000 car more expensive than what they came in for. Don't do that stuff, man. Just be a real person.
Be a consultant, man. Help them find out what their issues are and what you can do. And like you said, when people, they're coming to you, they really want you to guide and direct them a little bit. You know, they don't want to make a mistake. They're tired of making mistakes. So if you really know your product and understand people, it's so much easier. I mean, you don't realize there's a lot of people doing extremely well out there.
A lot of people.
And there's a lot of people doing poorly because they want to do it their way, not the right way, their way. And that's why I can't make any money. I can't make any money. You don't even know how to shake somebody's hand.
Yeah.
You know,
the most successful salespeople in the world do this step, no matter what industry you're in. We always say no matter what industry you're in because it's true, right? When you build trust, when you build rapport with your customer, you can go in many different ways. Now, of course, the reality is that once you do find out what they're looking for, give them what they're looking for. Give them what they're looking for. Look, we know all the stats, right? 89% of the people they're out there, they do research online. They know what they're looking for. They narrowed it down, especially in the new car world. They narrowed it down to like 1.7 cars on average or whatever it is, right? So let's just call it 2 cars. So they're coming to look at your vehicle and then they want to compare it to something else. So when they come on that lot, they're not going to tell you exactly what they're looking for. Most people won't do that, but it's your job to get it out of them while you're in step number 2, while you're consulting, while you're being that car doctor, like you call it. You want to get it out of them exactly what they're looking for so that you can give it to them. I see so many times, we go to so many dealerships and we see customers, the salesperson walking the lot with the customer. And the customer's looking at all kinds of different cars, man. They're landing themselves on the car. The salespeople's not landing the customer on the car.
Well, just think this past week. I think it happened twice. You and I were in the dealership waiting to meet the general manager. And twice, 2 customers walked up to us and said, "Can you help us?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are the salespeople?
Yeah.
They got hiding spots. Where are they hiding?
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's really a shame.
But it's slow.
Huh?
But it's slow.
Yeah, slow. Oh, yeah, slow. It's a bad one.
Slow.
Why are people coming to us asking, "Are you a salesman?"
Yeah, and you know, here's the other thing, right? For everybody watching out there on our Zoom webinar right now, tuning in from different dealerships, pretty much all over the country. When you meet and greet that customer, and like we discussed the greeting last week, when you meet and greet that customer and you say, "Follow me," you want to have them come with you so that you can sit down and really guide them. Now, step 2 in a lot of different dealerships, they also do what they call pre-trade, right? Where you want to get information on the customer's trade-in and kind of start the trade-in process and the trade-in value process right up front in step number 2. There's a lot of dealerships that do that today, and it's a good thing to do that as well. However, you want to follow your dealership's road to the sale, right? You want to follow that road to the sale because some customers kind of want to know their number up front, right, on their trade-in, so they come in. So you want to do that. But this is where you want to use your progressive advanced listening skills. Your progressive advanced listening skills. And what does that basically mean? That means that you want to listen here, right? On page of our manual, on page 13, right here. It says, stop selling and start listening. Stop selling and start listening. Now, we say that because, man, listen, they're going to tell you what it is that they want. They're going to tell you how to sell them. They're going to tell you the most important thing to them. They're going to tell you all the objections that may come up. They're going to tell you everything you need to know in this step in order to sell them a vehicle.
You have to perfect this step. Yeah, I'm not really sure who said it, but when you're speaking, you learn nothing.
Right.
When you're listening, you learn everything. So we want the customer to talk to us. What happens? Number one, we find out information, but the psychological part of it is the more somebody talks to you and shares information with you, the more they like you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. But when salespeople are, "Well, yeah, but Mr. Customer, yeah, but let me tell you this," and they're not listening and they're not building that caring up. So psychologically, and I really used to like this, is I'd sit there and let them talk and talk and talk. Number one, they're going to like it. Plus, you're going to find a clue how to sell them.
And it's about rapport, isn't it?
It's all about rapport.
You want to kind of try to build a little bit of rapport with your customer.
Right.
You know, a lot of times I say this in our sales meetings. You're going to notice a lot of things, especially if you do pre-trades. If step number 2 includes your pre-trade process at your dealership, you're going to notice a lot of things on the customer's car. I mean, you may see some stickers on the back of the car, right? Some, some dog stickers or cat stickers or, the sports or fishing stickers or various different things. Hey, this is a great opportunity for you right there to start to build a rapport. And it's going to tell you a lot about the customer, what kind of a person that they are, right? So this is the step. This is the step where you make your money. This is my opinion. This is where you make your money.
Well, you make your money and you save time and you do it right. You do it professionally.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, I don't care where you go. It's business. Let's sit down. Tell me what I can do for you today.
Yeah.
You know? And I like when we teach salespeople, I'm not here to sell you a car. I'm here to help you buy a car. It's your money. You're paying for it. My job is hopefully impress you with my automobile.
Yep. All
right? But the bottom line is when it's all over, you're going to go, I want it or I don't want it. So let's forget about me trying to sell you, about me trying to help you buy a car.
At this point, right?
At this point.
Hey, and this is the point where, guess what? This is the point where your close actually begins, the close. You know, the other day we were at a dealership over here in North Palm Beach, and one of the salespersons said to us, or West Palm Beach, one of the salespeople said, man, I'm a hammer, man. I hammer the shit out of people. Remember? He said, I hammer people, man. I can close anybody. Well, really? Is that really what you want to do? That be that hammer, that person that will just hammer,
right.
give away?
Anybody that says I can close everybody, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're obviously lying to themselves. I don't know anybody that can close anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody in the whole wide world.
And here's the thing about that, though. The close begins in step number 2, and you shouldn't have to hammer people to sell them something. If you give them what they want, you make a friend with them. The close should be fairly simple. And you know, it's funny. I'm gonna draw a little thing that we usually use, and this is so true. But the bottom line is that this. Here's the deal. If you do all your steps right in the steps to a sale, in the automotive steps to a sale, in any sale, when it comes down to the asking for the business, when it comes down to the close, it should be fairly simple. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it should be fairly simple. Are you going to have to learn how to overcome objections? Yes. Are you going to have some closing techniques? Yes. But you shouldn't have to hammer people. That's the reality, right or wrong?
Absolutely. I mean, you hammer them and you sell them a car, and guess what? You probably never see them again. So not only do you not have a repeat customer, but you've already did bad for your dealership. Because they're not going to come back anymore. They feel like they were taken advantage of. Yeah, you hammer them, but they're not going to come back. And when somebody mentions something about buying a car, you know what they're going to say? Don't go to that dealership. Oh, they don't treat you right over there. I mean, people got to understand what this business is all about. You need to protect your house. Your house is the people you work for, the dealership you work for. That's where you have to protect, not lie, not cheat. Be upfront. Do the right thing.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the graph. And if you do that, this is the graph. If you can, this is the old school style of selling up here, right? You spend a little bit of time building rapport, man. That's all. You spend a little bit of time building rapport. You don't really make much friends with the customer. You kind of figure it out. I'm gonna go land them on a car, and hey, man, I'm gonna present the vehicle I land them on because that's the vehicle that I landed them on. And then guess what? I'm gonna close them, man. I'm gonna hammer them, man. I'm gonna make sure they're not leaving without a car today, right? A lot of time and effort, man. This right here, man, that takes a lot of effort, doesn't it? This is what you should be doing here. You should be building a lot of rapport. Build a lot of rapport because spend more time on building rapport and trust and finding out really what's important to them. And then tailor what's important to them in the presentation. Spend a lot of time on your presentation. Build a rapport, making a friend, presenting the product that you're going to sell them. Make sure you land them on the right car. And then the close, it's not going to be easy, but it's a lot easier. And quite frankly, you're going to get a lot more people saying yes to you right off of the bat, right?
They come there for a reason. And when a true professional understands, they're coming there because they want your product.
Yes.
And a true professional understands that they're a little nervous and they're going to say something like, I'm not ready. I'm just looking. I'm this, I'm that. You know, that's who we sell cars to. let them understand that they are nervous. It's a big investment.
Of course, it's a big
Who wants to buy a car, sign a 5-year contract, and realize they don't like the car? They were pushed into that. Now they got to keep this car for 5 years.
Yeah, and so they want to be able to buy from someone that they actually like. Here's step 2. Once again, it's so important that really you take the time here and you build that rapport with your customer. And I say that because once again, it's going to make all the rest of the steps flow, right? The next step, see the boss, and then your selection process. You know, I said earlier that 89% of the people know what they want when they come in, right? Which means that more than 50% of them actually have a vehicle in mind. And look, let's face it. Here's the reality. They know your inventory. See, back when we were selling cars, when they come, it used to be land a customer in the car in stock, land a customer on a car in stock, a customer on a car in stock. Why? Because there wasn't the internet, right? So we had to land a customer on a car in stock, right? They didn't do their research. Now they've most likely done your research on your internet, on your dealership's website, or they've been to a third-party website which updates your inventory pretty quickly. I mean, probably 3 times a day, if not 4 times a day. And then what they do is they know exactly the car that they have. So landing the customer on the car in stock should not be that big of a deal these days because they're coming in on something that's in stock. They already know what they want. It's our job in this step to find out exactly what they want. Let's be honest. Customers will walk in today, and they're going to say to you in a greeting, hey, look, I'm just shopping. I really don't know what I'm looking for. Meanwhile, they have a copy of the invoice in their back pocket for the exact car with the stock number that they want that's in your inventory, right or wrong. It's our job as professionals. It's our job to find out that car that they want. Now, if you skip this step, if you just skip making a friend and building a rapport and say, screw it, let me take them out to the inventory, let me show them cars, you're never going to find out exactly what's in their back pocket, what they want. So it's our job to find out exactly what the customer wants. And I want to say this. I learned this a long time ago. Land the customer on the least expensive vehicle they will own, and you're going to make more money, right? Stop upselling people. Stop landing people on loaded cars that they don't want. Why? It's just going to make your job a lot harder, isn't it?
Yep. Pretty simple. You know, we think we're going to make more money because it's got leather and a panoramic roof and a CD player or a navigation screen and dual power seats. Now, if somebody comes in and says, listen, I got great credit. This is the vehicle I want. Different story. But we want to show everybody an expensive vehicle, and they like it. Of course they're going to like it. Now, when you show them the entry-level vehicle, let's face it, nowadays, it's hard to find what we call a base vehicle. They all got, almost everyone's got power windows, power locks, tilt, cruise, some type of stereo system. I mean, that's your base unit. When we grew up, if a car had an 8-track tape player, it was loaded. And if it had cruise control, oh my God, this car is loaded.
You would a killer on the block.
Oh my God, cruise control.
And pretty much every car nowadays really does have navigation, right? I mean, with Apple Play and all these technology that's coming out these days, it really does make life a lot easier. You know, we were talking yesterday about 2 salespeople, if you remember, right? Leighton Chung and Merva. Remember? Leighton Chung and Merva. And we were talking about them because Leighton I worked with on the floor going back in 1992, 1993. And then Merva was a salesperson. You trained Merva, if you remember, back in 2000, right? And they had such heavy accents, okay, that you couldn't really understand what they were even saying. You couldn't understand what they were saying, right or wrong, right? Okay? But Merva was a 25 car a month a month person, okay? Leighton was an 18 to a 25 a month car person. And the reason why and by the way, they did not have these closing skills. They weren't hammers. They didn't pound and pound and pound. But what was the reason why they sold so many cars?
People liked them. They got people that liked them.
So simple.
Merva had such a deep Jamaican accent. And she always was same energy,
tone,
never up, never down. Met the customer, did whatever she had to do. If she couldn't do anything, she always came for you for help.
Always.
Okay, but I mean, she was so hard to understand, but yet she sold more cars than everybody. So the trick is really simple. Shut up and listen.
You know, it was
Treat
funny.
people right.
I remember, same thing with Leighton, right? And I would watch Leighton, I would watch Merver present numbers to the customers, right? They were just such good people. They were such nice people that people bought cars for them because they were nice. They didn't even know what they were signing, I think, okay? I remember Leighton would go up and say, whatever he was saying, and they would just grab the pen and sign because they wanted to buy from people that they liked. They wanted to buy from someone that they felt like them. People just want to be treated with respect. People just want to understand that you care about them. They want to understand that you care about them as a person. In this step, in step number 2, the secret sauce, you want to do a discovery with your customer. Find out what they're looking for. Where do they work? Where do they live? Where they're from? All their hobbies. Get all that information out so that you can present it properly. If you build that trust, if you become a trusted advisor, not a salesman, don't be a salesman, be a trusted advisor. Hey man, this is 2018, we're coming on 2019. You know what, those hammering days, the Glengarry, Glen Ross, the Boiler Room, those are great movies. I love them. But you're not going to get away with that in the business anymore.
It's over. The new professionals. Okay, the new professionals. That's what this is all about. To be a professional, to build a business, okay, it takes time, but it takes training. And most people do not seem to want to train themselves. Okay, I mean, just this morning, I'm listening to a motivational on my way here to the office. Okay, I try to listen to somebody every single day about something that can make me a better person and I can provide better service to whoever I'm speaking to.
If you want to sell more cars, if you want to become a top salesperson in your industry,
Call MPI.
Well, yeah, that's number one. Call us, we'll help you. But you want to focus on growth and you want to make sure you do this step properly. Again, I totally disagree with the people who say meet and greet the customer, follow me, let me take you out to the inventory, land you on a car, because you could be landing the person on a car that they can't afford, that they don't want. I disagree completely. I mean, take your time to find out what the person wants, man. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, find out what's important to the customer. Find out what their budget is. Find out what they're looking for. Last thing you want to do is land the customer on a $40,000 car if their true monthly budget is $300 or $350 a month, right? Sure, we always say people will bump in price, right? They're going to bump in trade, price, payment, or down payment. They will. There's no question about it. But if you land that person on a $40,000 car, you do the math if they're really at $350 a month or $400 a month. You do the math. It just doesn't work. So you want to take your time here. And it goes back to making sure that when you greet the customer and you say, follow me, and you start to build that rapport, right here on page 8, they're asking these 4 questions, right? Can I trust him or her? Can I trust this person? Is he or she committed to excellence and knowing their product? Are you committed to your excellence? Do you care about them as a person? And can I believe him or her?
And that's all in 90 seconds in their head. It's a feeling. They get a feeling. Typical salesperson just wants to sell me a car, doesn't know what they're talking about. I mean, they got nothing better to do. Or I like this person. This person's full of energy. They got knowledge. They're making me feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go back to step 1, it's really loving people when they walk in.
Right.
They can go anywhere and buy a car. They got that commission in their pocket, okay? But when they come to you, you need to learn how to make them feel good where they want to buy a car from you.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of times when people come in with credit issues. There's going to be a lot of times that people come in with serious issues that they need to address before you go show them cars, and you want to address that up front. Hey, look, I got to tell you something. If you're not at a 50% closing ratio, if not better, 50% or higher, I got to tell you got to look at yourself a little bit and say to yourself, hey, man, what can I do to get better? Remember, these people are coming in knowing what they want. You got to definitely take care of them. You got to be able to know what they want and show them what they want. Look, step 2 is the most important step to the sale. I mean, in my opinion, obviously it is. Step 1 and step 2. Because step 1, you have to get past step 1 to get to step 2, right? So step 1 and step 2. You got to ask the right questions. So what are a few questions that you may ask? Well, one of the questions that we open up with, or I always open up with, and Al always opened up with, was, hey, guy, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, have you had a chance to test drive this car before? It's a great question. Now, why would you ask a question like that, Al?
Just because if they say yes, they're probably at another dealership. If they say no, then you can really impress them with your knowledge.
Right. But if they say yes, that means that they were at another dealership, but now they're with you.
Right.
And for some reason, whatever it is, they didn't like the salesman, they didn't like the dealership, they didn't have the car in stock. Whatever it is, guess what? They're with you right now, which means in your head, you're going to sell them a car, right?
And a bad salesperson will go, which dealership were you at? Do you have prices? Show me what you got. Who cares where they were? They're here right now, starting new with us, fresh.
Right.
Fresh.
Who cares where they were? And then a couple other quick questions that you might want to ask them. First of all, I have to build in your rapport, where they're from, and talking about, what they do for a living and all this other stuff. Progressive active listening. Progressive active listening, okay? You have to do that. But another question, what features must you have? What are the features that are most important to you in your next vehicle, right? You want to find out what's important to your customer and the features that they want. Why do they want those features, right? Hey, maybe somebody who comes in for navigation because they're a traveling salesman or they drive a lot. Well, you want to find that out. Why? Because that's going to set up your test drive. It's going to set up your presentation. This step will set everything up for you for your presentation. You're going to know what their hot buttons are, what's important to them, what they're going to be doing with the vehicle. What are they using it for? They're using it for work, pleasure. They're using it for both. It's so, so important because this is where you set yourself up for success. And this is where you set yourself up for making the most money possible, is in step number 2, which is the discovery, guest sheet, making a friend, and what I call the secret sauce, right?
Secret sauce.
And then you can bridge into your next step, right? Which is really selection, right? Which is really going to be the selection process of finding the right vehicle for your customer. And again, just remember this as you go on today. We all have choices that we have to make, right? You either want to do really good or you don't. I know we all want to do good, but the truth is it's your choice whether to follow the steps. It's your choice whether to educate yourself, like Al just said. It's your choice to do it. If you choose to wait for that next up, well, then that's what you're going to get, maybe that next up. But if you choose to be proactive and maybe go into the service department and look for customers there, hey, I don't know about you, but most dealerships are going to write 50 to 100 ROs today, right? Think about it. It's 50 to 100 customers right there. Today's the last day of the month, Al. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Today's the last day of the month. We got to turn it on today. So if you're 1 unit or 2 units away or half a unit away from your bonus, what are you going to do differently today to make that deal? Well, I'm going to suggest that you make a friend with your customer, that you build trust and rapport, that you do a great step number 2, and that you sell them a car based on what they told you in this step and give them what they want. That's what I'm going to suggest.
Pretty simple. Anybody that comes in today, love on them, baby. Love on. Open your arms. Open your smile. Welcome them. Gently welcome them. No matter what they say, hey, I'm not ready. I'm this, I'm that. No problem, man. Thanks for coming in today. My job is to give you the information you need before you leave. Maybe you'll come back and see me.
That's it. And again, they're going to buy a car from you. So look, guys, as we wrap this up today, step 2 should be done inside the dealership at your desk. It's very hard to kind of build a rapport with somebody as they're looking at a sea of vehicles with all kinds of different stickers, all kinds of different options, and they're looking at the different colors. I mean, just think about it. It's so difficult to do that. Take your time with this step. I promise it's going to pay off dividends.
Yes, it will.
Right or wrong?
Yes, it will. We're 2 examples of that. Okay, people liked us. That's why they bought cars from us.
Yeah, they did.
We're so much alike in that way. We got people who like us, right? And we want to find out the information how to help them. So make a difference. Invest in yourself. Do something personal development, whatever it may be. Keep learning. The sad thing is most salespeople, they get in the car business after 6 months. They think they know it all. They don't want to come to any coaching or training, and they're stuck there because they think they know it all. And I feel really bad for them. Because we don't even know it all.
Nobody.
We read. I read more now than I've ever read because of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice compliment right there.
How about that over here?
All right.
So wrap this baby up over here.
So look, again, this is the last day of the month. Get ready to rock and roll. You got a big weekend coming up. Hey, man, December is going to be the best month of the year. You got 5 weekends, number 1 in December. You got the notoriously one of the best months of the year. Get prepared for December. Get excited about December. Hey, man, let me tell you something. This is the month to be selling cars. Start really educating yourself and what you can do differently to have a huge, huge December. It's holiday time, man. People are festive. People want to buy cars. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Call us. If you want to get better at your game, you want to get better at your trade, call us. You can call me directly on my cell, 954-295-3797. Al, what's your cell?
I ain't giving anybody my cell, 702-771-8128.
Or reach out to us via email, text message, Maximum Potential Institute. Go to our website, www.mpioautosalestraining.com, mpioautoSalesTraining.com. Hey, look, this is what it's about. It's about elevating yourself to the next level, right? We're going to do another Facebook Live today, aren't we? 3 o'clock
Yeah,
on Choices.
3 o'clock over
3
here.
o'clock. So we want to invite you back to become 3 o'clock today. We're going to do it on choices and the choices you're going to make right now for 2019. Because, look, sales is everything. Okay, we're going to go through steps of the sale. We're going to go through all that, overcoming objections, but choices are very important. So 3 o'clock today, tune into us. We're going to talk about choices and the choices that you're going to make a big difference in 2019 and the end of this year. MPIAutoSalesTraining.com, Matt at MPIFL.com, Al at MPIFL.com. Maximum Potential Institute, where success comes to life. We'll see you at 3 o'clock.